In a surprising twist of cosmic proportions, CBS has officially announced a brand new Big Bang Theory spin-off series that promises to explore the universe of everyone's favorite theoretical physicist, not in his childhood, not in his prime at Caltech, but in an entirely new phase of life. Yes, Dr. Sheldon Cooper is returning, but this time, not quite as you remember him. After the success of young Sheldon, fans had long speculated what could come next. Would we see more of Penny's post-Pasadena adventures? A peek into the Wolowitz household with the growing kids? Or maybe a deep dive into the Raj-verse, complete with romantic misadventures, of course. But in a decision that is both surprising and inevitable, the new spin-off, tentatively titled, Cooper's Conundrum, brings us back to Sheldon, now navigating the world of academia, family, and social quandaries as a newly minted father and professor emeritus. A different kind of bang. Set 15 years after the Big Bang Theory finale, Cooper's Conundrum finds Sheldon, Jim Parsons returning both as narrator and occasional on-screen presence, transitioning into a new role, mentoring young minds at a liberal arts college in Vermont. After decades of working in string theory and quantum mechanics, Sheldon takes a sabbatical, though, in typical Sheldon fashion, he considers it a brief exile from institutional mediocrity, only to stumble into a small college desperate for a theoretical physicist with a few Nobel Prizes under their belt. But this isn't just about physics. This is about Sheldon navigating a world that is far more emotionally intelligent than he's ever been comfortable with. Students prefer collaborative group work over lectures. Professors discuss safe spaces and mental health days. And campus cafes serve oat milk lattes instead of Sheldon's beloved hot cocoa with exactly 3 marshmallows. And of course, there's the heart of the show, his twin children, Lennox and Marie. At 10 years old, Lennox is already showing signs of being a prodigy in mathematics, though with a rebellious streak Sheldon can't quite compute. Marie, meanwhile, is a creative spirit, obsessed with theater, costumes, and challenging the boundaries of science with imagination. Together, they bring out different facets of Sheldon: pride, fear, awe, and frustration. And maybe, just maybe, growth. Nostalgia meets novelty. The showrunners, Chuck Lorre and Steve Molero, are returning to helm the project, and they've hinted at frequent guest appearances from original Big Bang characters. Amy Mayim Bialik remains a constant presence in Sheldon's life, though she's now head of a cognitive neuroscience research group at MIT and often appears via video calls or emergency teleportation scenarios devised by Sheldon's own experimental algorithm. Howard and Bernadette pop in from time to time, now dealing with teenagers of their own, and Raj, ever the romantic, has a podcast about love, astronomy, and Bollywood that unexpectedly becomes viral. But the true magic of Cooper's Conundrum lies in its ability to blend the quirky comedy fans know and love with the more poignant, reflective tones of adulthood. It explores how a man so defined by structure, science, and ego learns to navigate a world that demands empathy, vulnerability, and humility. A meta approach. In a clever twist, Jim Parsons doesn't just narrate the show, he co-produces and occasionally breaks the fourth wall, offering Sheldonic commentary in voiceover segments that dive into philosophical tangents, physics metaphors, or scathing critiques of modern social rituals. He has a particularly amusing rant about gender reveal parties that fans are already quoting online. Each episode plays out like a science experiment. There's a hypothesis, usually Sheldon's, an unexpected variable, often his children or students, and a conclusion that never goes as planned but somehow lands with emotional resonance. Episode titles remain true to form, with names like the Montessori mutation, the latte paradox, and the empathy equation. Expect whiteboards, flashbacks, musical numbers. Yes, Sheldon has opinions on TikTok remixes, and plenty of Easter eggs referencing past episodes of The Big Bang Theory and young Sheldon. Fan reactions and expectations. Since the announcement, the internet has exploded with speculation, fan theories, and wish lists. Reddit threads are already buzzing about whether we'll get to see Leonard again, perhaps as Dean of Science at Princeton, or if Penny will finally reveal what she does post-acting. Some fans are even calling for a reverse crossover, where characters from young Sheldon, now grown up, make appearances. The casting of Sheldon's children is also generating buzz. The producers have promised new faces with familiar quirks, and leaked audition tapes suggest that young Lennox's deadpan delivery rivals his father's. Social media reactions have ranged from nostalgic tears to excited memes. One fan tweeted, "If Sheldon doesn't try to build a time machine in episode 1, is it even canon?" Legacy and longevity. Cooper's Conundrum isn't just another spin-off, it's a continuation of a story that has quietly shaped television comedy for nearly 2 decades. With The Big Bang Theory capturing the trials of youth and young Sheldon exploring the roots of genius, this new chapter aims to examine legacy, what we pass on, how we evolve, and how even the most rigid minds can learn to bend. There's something deeply poetic about seeing Sheldon, once the awkward roommate obsessed with Star Trek, now trying to understand his daughter's passion for Hamilton or attempting to explain Schrodinger's cat using a sock puppet because his son insists that's the only acceptable medium. Final thoughts. In the end, Cooper's Conundrum looks to be more than just a nostalgic cash-in. It promises heartfelt storytelling, genuine laughs, and an exploration of character that honors the original while striking out into new territory. After all, as Sheldon himself once said, in the world of science, if you're not constantly rewriting your theories, you're not really trying. It seems the same can be said for television, and for Sheldon Cooper himself. Would you like me to continue the article with a fictional interview with Jim Parsons or the showrunners for added depth?